Hey everybody, it's Mike Yao or GM Mikey with Savage Kingdoms role-playing game and Fire in the Head Productions. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. I had a pretty good one here with the wife and the two kiddos. We kind of stayed home here in Asheville. It was a beautiful day here in the mountains, and we just kind of ate out at a local place that had some awesome food. We didn't feel like cooking anything ourselves. But yeah, it was fun. We had a little hike afterwards in the mountains, and was great. That's right. So hopefully everyone else had a good one as well. So anyway, just thought I'd do an update video, not only to wish everyone a happy post Thanksgiving, but I wanted to hit upon three quick things, three quick updates. So number one, Savage Kingdom's Dark Tides. So that is a Zoom recorded campaign that we started about 2 weeks ago, actually 2 weeks ago, almost exactly. And we put up, or I put up the episode 1 on my YouTube channel, so which doesn't have a lot of subscribers. So please subscribe and like and that stuff. But the fact that I don't have a lot of subscribers, I think there's like 50, 52. We've already had like 53 views on it, 5 or 6 likes, so that's cool. So a fair amount of people, relatively speaking, have watched it, so that's really good. Been able to watch some live Savage Kingdoms with me as game master and game creator with 4 other player characters. We may add a 5th one, possibly, next episode. But we'll see. That'll be the maximum that I would probably take for the show, would be 5 player characters. But anyway, there were 4 in the previous edition, previous episode. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. You might like it. It's 3 hours and 15 minutes. Each episode will probably be anywhere from 3:15 to 3.5 hours. That's generally the length of a session. I typically run on Roll20 anyway for various groups. So we're just recording it and putting it up and for your entertainment and to check out and that sort of thing. So that's Savage Kingdom's Dark Tides. So to let everybody know, so like I said, the first episode was 2 weeks ago. The reason we didn't do hold on. We did a special episode the week before that was not Dark Tides. It was called Mythic West. So just to preface Mythic West really quick, Mythic West is a tabletop role-playing game that I've been kind of working on, sort of in this as like a little side thing, a little side gig. It's just something I'm kind of doing in the background here and there. It's set in the Old West, but it's alternate history, possibly alternate history, not in a major way. Meaning that you can, if you want to run a game where Jesse James hasn't been captured yet, or he's undead, or he's the Union didn't win the war between the states, or maybe the repercussions of the Confederacy's loss was in his grave. Whatever little tiny things. This Native American tribe that didn't exist maybe make up one, or maybe they're in a different area, or maybe they have a larger territory. Whatever. So it's kind of open to have alternate history if you want. And that's mostly to kind of leave creativity to the game masters and players to go. I'm big into research. I think it was fun to research the Old West stuff, but you're never going to hit everything. And so it kind of leaves things open to go, if I wanted the Wells Fargo stagecoach line to come through this little town that it probably didn't, then by golly, it's going to happen. Or by golly, it's going to happen. I guess I should use more of this kind of accent, that kind of thing. But so that was kind of fun. That was kind of a filler, and because we were missing a Dark Tides player that particular day, I decided to get everybody else together, the other players, and since they already had some Mythic West characters from previous playtests that were not videotaped, so I decided to do that. Besides, I've been wanting to run another session of Mythic West anyway. So if you get a chance to check that video out as well, it's not doing quite as well because it is Old West compared to Medieval Fantasy. Medieval Fantasy probably being much more popular. And Savage Kingdoms probably too. SK has, it's a tiny independent game, as you know. It's very, very, very tiny, but there is some brand recognition with it, which is nice, a little bit. So some people, people probably go, oh, Savage Kingdoms, that's kind of cool. Let's check it out. So thank you for checking that video out. And if you check the Mythic West out also, thank you as well. So, right, well done. So episode 2 of Savage Kingdoms Dark Tides will be shot next week, and I'll post it the day after, which is typically on a Thursday. And then from there on out, hopefully every other week is when we plan to have an episode of that campaign out. So, um, with the holidays coming up or already started, so things might get thrown off a little bit, but that's the general plan is to have one of those every other week. So continue to watch Savage Kingdom's Dark Tides when you get a chance. Those of you who have already seen the episode one, awesome, or at least checked out some of it. Thank you very much. Um, point number two. Point number two. What was point number two? Oh yes, the Savage East. The Savage East. I'm still working on. I've experienced, at least in my head, a little bit of burnout and writer's block, making me behind a little bit. And the reason I say in my head is because technically speaking, I'm not really behind at all. Because to me, I mean, it's just me really kind of running Fire in the Head Productions. I set the release date for in my head or even on paper. Doesn't matter. I can change it for next May 2021, maybe June, but probably May, um, for the release time for the Savage East expansion supplement. That's what we're calling it. That's right. Setting expansion supplement. Um, so right now I have about 60% of it written, and it's already been made into a PDF. Like the very just that part of what I've done has already been made into a PDF, and I've sent it to some of my kid players. I run games for after school kid like after school clubs and stuff, or not only Dungeons and Dragons but Savage Kingdoms. A lot of the kids actually prefer SK over D&D, which is kind of amazing actually, considering a lot of them are only like 12, 13, or 14, whatever. I expected like older kids to get more into SK, not the younger kids, but that's just how it's worked, which has been great. So yeah, and I sent them out a PDF. They really wanted to see some of the Savage East stuff early, and I'm like, all right, so you guys are cool, your parents are cool, and you guys are paying me to run games for you. So I'm very thankful for that, being able to turn this into a sort of a living, at least part of a living. Um, so I sent that PDF out to them. So there is a stripped down PDF in existence. I will get it out to the Kickstarter people. The reason I've been holding it longer for the Kickstarter backers, those of you who supported it at one of the higher levels, I think you get a stripped down version of the Savage East, like an early version of it. The reason I was holding off on it is I was trying to get more of it done instead of 60% done, maybe like 80% done. But I think maybe it's closer to 80 than I thought. So I think I'm going to go ahead and send that out anyway. It just doesn't have any artwork and some of the fluff. I mean, it's still missing some stuff, but like I said, 60%, maybe even 70, 75% of the final book is there. So I may just go ahead and send it out to you guys because I'm already like a couple weeks, a couple months behind on that. And in addition, I think I will send as well to kind of make up for the fact it's been a couple months late. The Blood Maiden. The Blood Maiden is the Savage Kingdoms 3 adventure that I just updated from Reforged. I wrote it and updated it from the Reforged edition, and now it's up on Drive Through RPG. So you can purchase that if you want. It's only $3.99. But to the Kickstarter backers, I will send you guys, well, the ones that are supposed to get the Savage East stripped down version, I'll send you that as well for free, just to kind of make up for it. So, yeah. So Savage East is coming along otherwise. Like I said, I've had a little bit of burnout and writer's block. I shouldn't even say writer's block. The writer's block is really it's a secondary thing related with burnout. That's one of the leading causes of writer blocks is burnout. Um, but only on a minor scale. I mean, I still love the setting. I still love the rules. I love the players that have been playing. I know I don't have a huge following at all, but the people that are playing the game, they seem to be super loyal for the most part, and I super appreciate that, guys, for doing that in such a small operation. Um, as you know, this is not my real living. I do make a little bit of money on the side. I make more money running games, honestly, than I do um, publishing SK stuff. It's very small income. However, fortunately, during COVID, well, can't use the word fortunate with COVID. I apologize, but if any, so I'm an actor, so right, whatever. So that's been a big. There's just the COVID years just really destroyed a lot of gigs. I was booked already and like 4 or 5 things coming up. mostly stage, but like a film, as the main villain. Um, so some film work as well. So I had a pretty good year lined up, and then there was still a lot more auditions and negotiations. Other people wanted me to do stuff, so it was looking to be a good year. And then suddenly that all shut down. I've managed to do a couple gigs that are online, um, and I don't think any of those are paid. I think one was paid. Can't even remember. Um, and a paid gig that was supposed to come up for Christmas, and that fell through. Fortunately, the producers are paying us a little something anyway, just to kind of make up for the fact that we already had the script and we were already kind of working on memorization and working on characterizations and stuff like that. So anyway, blah blah blah. That's a long way to say that in order to make up for that lost income this year, I've fortunately been blessed and fortunate enough to be able to run some Dungeons and Dragons and Savage Kingdoms um, paid, being paid to do it. So I do that about 4 or 5 times, 4 or 5 days a week now, which is great. On one hand, it's like that's unbelievable that something nice, this hobby that I got into 40 years ago, would turn out to be something that would make at least a partial living at. So that's been great doing that. However, running a game about every other day, particularly now that you're being paid, there's more pressure a little bit. So to come up with better storylines, engaging characters, and just kind of being on point with your voice acting and your narration and all that stuff. In addition to running all the mechanical part of the game, has to be a little more on point. Once money is involved, and I've told this to other actors, once you start getting if you start getting paid as an actor, it's a big deal. Um, it's any profession, anytime money is being exchanged, suddenly you gotta have the goods. You gotta know what you're doing there. That's right. I'm not gonna pay you for nothing. So yeah, a little more pressure, and a little more pressure causes a little more burnout. And I think anytime you do something like you're being paid for it, I almost feel like there's like a human psyche thing that's like, well, this can't be fun anymore because it's work, it's not play. And you have to remind yourself it's both. You can make money playing. Yeah. So even as an actor and as a game designer and game master, it's all fun. I'm fortunate enough to be doing fun stuff, but just because it's fun doesn't mean it's not hard work. Trust me, especially as an actor and a game designer, a lot of hard work people don't see. A lot of rehearsal, a lot of trying to get along with people, a lot of costume fittings, a lot of the stuff. Like I say, I think game designing and acting are like it's an iceberg thing. People see the 5% and the 95% below the waterline. Unless you're in the industry, you don't really see. And that part below the waterline, there's some fun stuff in there too, but there's also a lot of hard work. So anyway, that's a long way of saying there's been a little bit of burnout, but I'm kind of working through it as always. It'll be great, and the Savage East will be hopefully out on time next year for May. Right, and I hope to have a more complete PDF version much earlier than that. So hopefully I can get Michael Scott Phillips along for the ride again. He was my graphic designer for the last one, which great, super awesome looking core rule book. I'm very proud. Savage East. Hopefully I will get him again hired and we'll produce the Savage East book, which will complement the Savage Kingdoms 3 core rule book and all that. Right. Okay. So point number 3, I've actually touched upon already before I close this video out. Point number 3 was the Blood Maiden is out. That's a Savage Kingdoms 3rd edition adventure. It's on sale at Drive Through RPG. I think it's been up for about 5 days now. It's doing, is what it is. It's only $3.99, so check it out if you want to check it out. So it was I think I already mentioned this like earlier in the video, but anyway, just in case, because I don't edit these things usually. I probably should. Um, so it was originally a reforged edition adventure from 3 years ago, the second edition of the game, and so I've just updated to third edition, streamlined and fixed it up a little bit, and it's nothing fancy, but it's a pretty good adventure. It's all there. Um, Pretty easy to GM, I think. The players should enjoy it. So check that out. It's at drive-through-rpg.com, where the core rulebook can be found and all the other past Savage Kingdoms products. So All right, I think that's it. We're about 15 minutes. Thanks for putting up with this video. Just want to give you guys an update about Savage Kingdom's Dark Tides, about the Blood Maiden adventure, and about the Savage East that's coming up soon, and I'm still working hard on it. Thank you guys for supporting this channel and Savage Kingdoms in general, and I will talk to you again soon.